Welcome back to This is Baseball. My name is Brandon Johnson. We're going to talk a little Royals here at the beginning of the show because I'm a little bit frustrated with this team right now, and I know a lot of people are, where this offense just cannot figure it out. They can't score runs no matter what. They have just get runners in scoring position, doesn't matter. They end up coming out of the inning empty-handed. And this team is in a competitive window, and it got me thinking there's something missing with this team, this 2024-2025 version of the Kansas City Royals. And just thinking about the 2014-2015 Royals is they had some guys with some fire in their clubhouse that they were ready to go and fight anybody. They weren't taking crap from anyone. And I remember in 2015, early on in the season, it felt like the Royals were in a bench clearing brawl once a week. And I don't think this current team has those guys. You had Yordano Ventura, who was ready to fight everybody. You had Mike Moustakas, who was ready to go at a moment's notice. Guys that were just ready to back each other up if anything went down. And I'm not advocating for having bench clearing brawls. I think there's a stat that I saw somewhere where the Royals didn't have a bench clearing incident at all in 2024, and I don't think they've had one in 25 either. And it got me thinking, with the Jazz Chisholm headfirst slide into third, where Jazz said, if he tags me like that again, referring to Michael Garcia, if he tags me like that again, I'm going to smack him. And nobody batting an eye about it. I'm just thinking, imagine somebody saying that, like if Mike Moustakas was playing third, I'm just imagining Jazz saying that to somebody and the Royals overhearing it. That would not fly. They'd get in his face right then and there. He might be wearing a pitch in his next at bat, and things might get a little bit ugly. I know that we try to stay away from that in today's game, but I think clearly, I don't know if this Royals team is respected by the rest of the league. And I just think something's got to give. Something's got to get this team going. And I don't know if it's just a little bit of heat between some players that could get this going. Because, like I said, something's got to change. It's mid-June, and I still believe in this team, but it's starting to get to the point where you're like, guys, we're going to figure this out at some point, right? And I feel like they just need something to happen where they can be brought closer together and have a tighter bond. And I don't know if getting in a fight is it, but that's where I'm at. I know it's crazy and it's a weird way to start the show, but let's get into a fight, Royals. Come on. No, but all in all, the Royals, or the Yankees coming into town for the Royals, you knew that was going to be a tough task with everything going on. They're one of the best teams in baseball. They have Aaron Judge, who go and crown him MVP of the 2025 season. He hit one of the craziest home runs I've seen at Kauffman Stadium. He hit a home run 469 feet on top of the Hall of Fame in left field. I think Mike Trout hit a ball pretty far to left center field several years back, but one of the longest home runs I remember at least being at was a Jackie Robinson day in like 2011 or 2012, and Cleveland was in town, and Travis Hafner hit a ball onto the roof of the restaurant in right field. I don't know the distance on that, but that was what Aaron Judge's home run reminded me of on Tuesday. But let's move on to something that we've kind of been covering for what feels like a long time now. So the Athletics, who were in Oakland, they're currently in Sacramento right now, awaiting their stadium in Las Vegas. And there's been this whole will they, won't they actually end up in Vegas? There was a lot of people that were doubting that stadium was ever going to happen. Well, we finally have a date that has been set for the groundbreaking ceremony of Las Vegas's $1.75 billion ballpark, and that is set to happen on June 23rd. So we're a little bit over a week out from the A's moving to Vegas actually becoming a reality. So this is according to Yahoo Sports. They've already been doing some early construction as recently as April. But their plan for the ballpark is to be finished and ready by the start of the 2028 season. So honestly, the Las Vegas Athletics will be a reality before we know it. And this has got me thinking about the Royals and their whole stadium situation. Another thing that we've been following for quite a while, where one of John Sherman, the owner of the Royals, one of the really first things that he kind of put into motion was that the Royals are not going to be at Kauffman Stadium at the end of their lease. So by 2031, they will be in a new ballpark. The whole idea was for them to hopefully be at a downtown stadium. There was a couple of different proposals that have been circulating through. It started with the East Village. There was the Crossroads site that actually went to a vote in April of 2024 that the county voted no on, which, looking back at that, there was a pretty wishy-washy plan, a lot of confusion and moving back and forth with what that actually looked like, and it was tied to the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs proposal for renovations to Arrowhead Stadium was pretty lackluster as well. So it was a pretty emphatic no from Jackson County. And you had the Clay County up north location as well that was being talked about, which, as far as renderings are concerned, that's the renderings I liked the best. Obviously, renderings are just that, and they're not concrete or anything. So there's the Washington Square Park site that has been kind of one of the more recent things. And the Royals have purchased some land over in Kansas as well. So that could just be as simple as they bought it and they might not use it, or the reality is maybe the Royals are going to be going to Kansas. I think we'll know what's going to happen with the Royals this summer, hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I know the deadline for the Star Bonds in Kansas is June 30th, but something interesting that has happened is the Missouri House has passed stadium funding that would go towards both keeping the Royals and Chiefs in Missouri. Now the governor just needs to sign it, and we'll see where it goes from that. It's going to be a very interesting few weeks on the sports front as far as stadiums are concerned in Kansas City. Obviously, I want it to be in Kansas City, stay on the Missouri side. I really hope they find a way to put it downtown, because I think that downtown is a great atmosphere for baseball. I'm thinking of Busch Stadium pops out in particular. Same with Coors Field. Just being able to park somewhere downtown, grab a bite to eat or something before the game, and then just walk over to the stadium is a really awesome experience. Being able to have the skyline be kind of the backdrop as well as for the stadium is a huge draw for me. Just great scenery. And I love Kauffman Stadium. I have a ton of great memories in there. I was present for 2 of the most iconic moments in Royals history, in Salvador Perez's walk-off in the wild card game in 2014, and then I was in the building for game 1 of the World Series when Alex Gordon hit his game-tying home run in the 9th inning. So those are moments that, I witnessed history there, and it'll stink to not be able to be in Kauffman Stadium anymore where I saw those, but I just know the benefits and my positive experiences in downtown stadiums that I just think it would do so much good for the Royals and for Kansas City as a whole. I think for the people that want Kauffman Stadium to stay put, I understand the history there. I understand not wanting to foot the bill for it. But I think if it's Kauffman's fine, leave it alone. I think that there's been enough evidence and information to come out that there is concerns about the structural integrity of Kauffman Stadium for the long haul. And I also think the Kauffman is fine crowd are probably a lot of people that maybe haven't experienced downtown baseball in other cities. And I would say if you went and had that experience elsewhere, you would see the draw for it and would probably be more into the idea of having it here. But maybe it's just a me thing. But we'll be following this all pretty closely as it all unfolds. I think we'll know here relatively soon. So stay tuned for that. But in regards to the show next week, there will be no shows. I'll be off all of next week. So tune in a couple weeks from now. We might be right in the thick of things as far as stadium news goes, but I will see you in a couple weeks. Thanks for listening. I will see you next time.